Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. I am Marion, the Inappropriate Artist, and I may be introducing myself again at the beginning of this footage. I wanted to bring to your attention, or let you know that it has been brought to my attention, that my volume, I'm a soft talker, and I know those of you who have known me throughout my life are like, what? Yeah, no, I know. But when I start interviewing or recording or doing anything like that, for whatever reason, I fall into this soft voice. That happens. So if the microphone's too far away, it doesn't pick it up. If I'm the slightest bit pensive or reflective, I get very quiet. So please take that into consideration. This is a soft talking video once again. I am looking towards solutions to fix this, but for right now, this is where I am. I hope if you want to get all you can get out of this video, pop your earbuds in and hang out in a quiet spot or get a quiet moment to listen. What Deborah has to say is pretty incredible, and I look forward to introducing you to her. So let's not hold this up any longer. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. You can contribute to my journey. Also, the links are below in the description. And now, here's for Deborah and a little bit about Polarity Energy healing. Make a new butthole.
You do. Just move the rocks out a little bit and make a nice little butthole there.
Oh, I don't want dirt though. Make me some smaller pebbles.
Yeah. There you go. That looks fine.
That looks like a good butthole.
It is.
All right.
Proof is in the pudding. Here's some small ones you can put over.
Oh, I could. Those would make a nice cushion.
Those would make a nice cushion.
These are rules to how to sit on a riverbed.
Riverbank, on a gravel riverbank.
Riverbank, but it's also a riverbed when it floods,
it's
right?
definitely a riverbed when it floods.
Yeah.
It floods big time here.
So yeah, this is the dry Rio Frio, right? No.
The dry Frio.
The dry Frio, just no Rio, just
No.
Frio.
Right, just...
The dry cold.
The dry cold.
It's the dry cold right here, right now. That's why we're in sundresses and you know.
Yeah. The dry comes from the fact that this river here goes in and out of the ground for miles, and it is completely dry in between when it disappears, and then a little later it bubbles up, and beyond that it's got a swimming hole. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what it does. So it's called the dry Frio because of that.
Dry Frio. Guys, gotta check it out. Okay, so what are we doing? Oh, yeah, so my name, maybe I should introduce myself, is Marion, the Inappropriate Artist. And if you follow my channel, you already know that I'm ridiculously backwards in how I do things, and this is not an unusual beginning to a video. This, however, is the unusual part. This is my very dear friend, Deborah. And I am parking on her property. And this is where I am taking the class I've been telling you all about. She is with me today to talk about what polarity energy healing is and why people seek it out. So that's all we're going to talk about today. This is going to be a series that is going to continue. I have no clue how many episodes. It may be long each episode, so I am going to suggest that if you don't have time to sit and watch, you plug in your earbuds, put your phone in your pocket, and get on doing whatever it is you need to do, or pop us in the car and listen to us on your drive. So there you go.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So this is an absolutely amazing place to be able to take this class. It has been incredibly fabulous for me. So everyone knows that I have been on a healing journey, and that this is a very big part of that healing
and I've been sort of building up to it for quite some time, and the bugs have bitten me, so I'm scratching. But I wanted to ask you to help, since I am still learning and I don't have all the words and the language to describe what polarity energy healing is. Could you tell me about it and why people seek it out?
Well, there was a doctor named Randolph Stone, Dr. Stone, who came to the United States from Austria when he was 12 years old in the early 1900s. He became a chiropractor, and then he got other Western degrees on top of that, naturopath and others, actually. There were 3 in all. And he still wasn't satisfied, and the reason he wasn't satisfied, he used to go on circuits, and he would see his clients, and he would drive to them and to their homes and do a circuit, but he would come back a month later, and they would still be presenting the exact same symptoms that he thought he had just handled a month before. And he personally felt that there was something missing. So he started going around the world looking at other healing practices. He did go to China. He went to various native practices, and he wound up liking best what he found in India, based in the Ayurvedic system. But he changed it. It is not what you would find in an Ayurvedic practice or an Ayurvedic therapy spa, which I'm quite familiar with. This is different. He has become known as the father of energy medicine, because what he did is he took the principles of Ayurveda, which include using the 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, and earth, and using the geometric shapes of the body to determine things, the holographic images of our body within our body within our body, the flow of energy from source to manifestation and then back to source. He uses the astrological information from the zodiac, and he also uses, and the reason that the word polarity comes from the fact that he uses the 3 gunas that he took from the Ayurveda.
May I stop you for a moment? What is a guna?
A guna is a quality.
Okay.
So and in Ayurveda it's expressed as 3 qualities, 3 modalities: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And the rajasic is what he thinks of as the positive, as in electricity, the positive pole.
Mm-hmm.
And the tamasic is what he considers the negative pole, as in electricity, the negative. And the sattvic is the neutral. So then he named his body of work, he named it Polarity, because he works with the way energy flows, just like it flows in a battery from the negative and the positive poles. You actually have to have a field in order to have electricity. If you don't have a field, you don't have electricity, because electricity is the flow.
Okay.
So he calls his work Polarity because he has observed that the body has all of these different positive and negative fields that energy flows into. And when that energy is stuck, then disease happens. So freeing that energy to move freely between those various poles, hence polarity, is the whole goal of Polarity. And he does it with gentle touches, like to a spot, with vigorous rocking, or with very intense poking. And it just depends on what you're trying to move, where you're trying to move it to. And you don't even have to understand it to the level that Dr. Stone apparently did understand it. He was a man way ahead of his time. But you can follow what he teaches and get amazing results. That's what's been really phenomenal to me.
And I have experienced some of those results for the first time in my life. having been someone who always was classified as sensitive, right? And that was usually an emotional classification, right? But I have found that that is part of the sensitivity. And I am learning what it is, what it feels like. So together we're taking this Zoom class because you wanted to further
My skills.
your skills and your practice.
Yes.
And you needed a partner. So a dear friend guinea pigged me. No, she sent me her information and said, call this woman. I called this woman, and I've had the benefit of being on her table. And we take.
And I've had the benefit of being on her table.
Thank you.
The receiver, the giver in this practice, because it is energetic. You cannot give without receiving, and as you receive, you're also giving. So it becomes a very mutual experience. It is different being on the table, but as we've discovered.
Yeah, you kind of get to go comatose if you want. Well, not quite comatose. You're still there, but you're like in this awesome...
It's a meditative, very Zen-like zone in which a lot of people believe they're asleep, but then when you call attention to it, they actually know everything that's going on in the room, including a fly that landed in the corner. The consciousness expands, but it also feels like you're sleeping because there's very deep breathing, and there's this. It's the healing space, actually.
Yeah. So we're taking this class together, and the gentleman who is providing the class is Bruce Berger, and I will put links to his information below in the description. Can you tell me a little bit about Bruce?
Well, I ran across Bruce last year. I'm a board-certified polarity therapist, meaning I've done, 800 hours of training and did this major exam and passed it and got certified. But I have to keep up my certification with doing courses every 2 years. And he had something called mantra yoga, and it qualified as allowing me to become certified, and mantra just involves chanting and singing, and I thought, I can do that. In fact, I would enjoy that. So kill two birds with one stone. Well, that's how Bruce entered into my life. And what I've discovered is that while I was taking all of those classes, there was a lot of maybe head knowledge. Dr. Stone left a wealth of information in writing, so you could, it's almost inexhaustible, the amount. But also we're dealing with spirit. We're dealing with healing through consciousness, healing through energy. And so if someone does not have that conscious awareness, they really can't convey what this healing is about. So although I had been attracted to this modality before meeting Bruce, and the reason I was attracted to it is it went hand in glove with the John F. Barnes myofascial release that I do. And that is aimed at the muscles.
And we will talk about that more in the next.
And then, but what I found with polarity is that it's like dealing with the joints and the sinews and the tendons and the organs and the whole body as a whole. So it just went hand in glove with the myofascial release work that I was already doing. And but not until I met Bruce, it was like I knew there was something there for me, but I couldn't quite crack the coconut. I knew there was something good inside that coconut, but it wouldn't crack. But Bruce cracked the coconut for me.
So we're both a couple of cracked coconuts.
We're both a couple of cracked coconuts.
Just saying.
Just saying.
That's kind of where my brain went. Okay. All right. So Bruce Berger has these wonderful classes, and she's taking the Zoom class. She wanted to sign up for the class and needed a partner. So that was part of the requirement of taking the class. And so then my friend, who I trust and love, says, I think this is exactly what you're looking for. you need to go to Texas. Which, of course, totally screwed with all my plans, because my plan said go north, be in Maine, be in New York, be someplace nice and cool for the summer. So here I am in blazing hot Texas, which, by the way, right now is not blazing hot. It's actually quite beautiful. And yeah, getting to take this amazing course and experience what it does for you on the table, for me on the table. Now, for me, my own personal experience was the first time, and since then, things have kind of mellowed. So I kind of see it as the first time I was on the table, all this old stuff was like being pushed out of my system, is sort of what it felt like. And I kind of dropped in and out of what I would call an REM state. So like I was going in and out of a dream state, but I didn't get to remember the dreams. But I knew I dreamed. And so, but it was like I would dream it and it would go into this little bubble and fly up and pop and disappear. And I have no idea what I let go of. But I can tell you, I feel that much lighter. And I have friends who have said they've noticed a definite change. And I think, you know, a lot of the things that hold me back in my life are these little tiny old things, right? And so this process, I believe, is helping me let go of those things without having to, because I've already taken a look at them all. I've already done all the self-examination, you know, and so I know what everything is. But it's like this wonderful
this
ability to leave it behind. And it's very hard to articulate, yet I think that visual of the dream going into the bubble and bursting and kind of going out there
is perfect. It's perfect. And the beauty about this work, the myofascial and the polarity, the body work, is that it does not require a cognitive involvement. There can be times when you have big ahas, there can be times when you remember a traumatic scene, but it is not part of a requirement. Once the energy starts flowing, what is no longer serving you leaves. The reason why we have all of these blocks is because they were meant to serve us. We experienced trauma, and so in order to protect us from experiencing that trauma again, we created these barriers. Well, after a while, it's like you're walking around wearing a cement straitjacket, and you just can't move anymore because now you are so protected from all eventual potential trauma. It's ridiculous. So this is a way with body work, with myofascial and with polarity, to release that trauma. And it can involve some cognitive experiences, but it's not required. And that's the beauty of it.
Wow. I know. And I sound so like, wow, dude, that's so cool. But I was a child of the 80s. I must clarify. But yeah, and I can definitely say that for me it was, I purposefully came in not having any real expectations, but once I got on the table, I sort of developed one. Like I thought I was going to have this extremely emotional let go of whatever was going to go. But no, it was really peaceful. And like I said, it was like, so just to preface, I've done some trauma treatment. One of the treatments I did is called EMDR.
A very effective treatment.
Yes. And it is about, just to totally sum up and preface, it's about recreating that REM sleep so that your brain can process the event. So that is so just summed up. So if you really are interested in finding out more about EMDR, you can look it up on Google. There's actually a really good description that comes up right away. But so I had done that kind of work. So when I was laying on the table and this was happening, when I sat up and the session was over, the first thing out of my mouth was, wow, that was better than an EMDR treatment.
Right.
Because I honestly, now I wouldn't have been able to even make the comparison had I not experienced the first treatment and knowing what that healing did for me. But this, like, I didn't have to remember this in order for it to do the work. And the fact of the matter is that I've already gone through all this stuff, you know, with the help of a professional. I'm not saying I went out blind and, you know, self-help myself to this position. I self-helped myself in the sense that I reached out and asked for help. So that's how I found my path to healing. We are not alone in this process. So, and part of the proof of that is sitting right here in front of me, you know, and meeting this woman was like probably has been one of the most amazing experiences of my life. I'm so grateful to know you. Do you feel that we have covered polarity?
I feel
well?
we have covered polarity very well.
Okay.
I didn't know exactly where this was going to go, but I feel that, you know, we both trusted that it would happen, and I believe that it has. I feel
Okay.
really good about that.
Cool.
And I just want to say that this woman is an awesome woman. God brought her into my life. So, but that's the way it always is with any true healing. It's a mutuality. If the person on the table is experiencing, then the person standing by the table will also be experiencing. It's never just one way. And this is just proof of all of that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm so glad you said yes to this. And I hope you guys are glad she said yes to it too. And I just want to say, if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to put them in the comments below. If you feel like you have something private you want to share and you don't want it to go up on the internet, there is an email below for me at it's theinappropriateartist at gmail.com. So you can email me. But if, you know, obviously I am not a clinical anything at all. At all. So
Yet.
do yourself, So do yourself a favor. And if it's truly serious, contact a professional. You know, in your area that you can speak to regularly. However, if it's a question about polarity, please put it in the comments below, and we will do our best to answer them because I will have her as a source. I can also message Bruce Berger and ask him for his answers if it is something beyond Deborah's scope.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So we have access to information. Also, I want you to stay tuned not next week. Sorry, that just came off my tongue. Wednesday, we will be talking about her, oh God, I'm going to try, myofascial release. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you said it correctly. That's another body work modality that releases stuck energy.
Awesome.
Hand in glove, these two.
Awesome. So next episode, which is Wednesday, or Thursday, depending on, I know lately I've been putting out on Thursday, not Wednesday, and usually it's Wednesday, and YouTube probably hates me, but you know, but I don't care. It's just the way things have timed out because of the schedule of classes and everything, and so I'm okay with it as long as you're okay with it. Stay tuned to later this week because we will talk about myofascial release. All right. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I'll take you out with a beautiful view of this river. Take care. Bye-bye.